Have you seen the colour of the sky this morning? It is absolutely the most beautiful deep blue, and the sea is like a mill pond. Every day you come here, every morning at this time, you get a different story, which is always so lovely. You just think, what's it going to be like? A, am I going to get on the beach this morning? Where's the tide? And what's the tide? What's the colour of the sea? Yesterday the colour was brown. Today it's just a mill pond of blue. Quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. It is so quiet this morning. There's hardly anybody around. If I turn the camera around, you might be able to see there's a few yachts out sailing. There's a fisherman doing some early morning fishing before the tide comes in. And this is where you never know. I know it has a pattern, but the tides sometimes are right here, but the rock pools go right out, and there's Hugo going in for his morning constitution, which he absolutely adores. You can see that there he is. Actually, Mabel's gone in deeper than she normally goes in. She normally only likes to get her ankles wet, but Hugo goes for full immersion. What he normally does is he normally just goes into the sea and just sits, plonks himself down. I can't believe how quiet it is. I know it's early on Sunday morning, but I can't quite believe how absolutely silent it is, because today there's no wind, the sea's as still as anything, and there's hardly anybody around. You could be anywhere. You could be anywhere. I always say, every time you speak to people in the mornings about this, it's like, this is so special. It's a priceless little gift every morning. There's other stuff going on that's not so quite priceless, and I'll talk about that when I get home. But I'll leave you with some more shots of the sea. It's time for another video. I've not done one for such a long time, so I thought it's Monday morning and why not do another video, because there's a couple of bits that I want to share with my 97 subscribers. Yes, 97. It's inching its way to 100. Inching its way to 100, but it's taken a long time. Much longer than I ever thought, but hey, here we go. You will find me this morning, if I look, you can see my anatomy charts. I'm in my office at home. There's my table, and I'm sitting on my desk. I've got some admin to do today, so I'm getting it done. I've got quite a lot to do this morning. I'm in a rush because Wimbledon starts, and it's my favourite 2 weeks of the year, Wimbledon tennis. But I wanted to show you, I'm going to take you downstairs because my office is on the first floor. So I'm going to take you downstairs because exciting news is I have finished one fireplace. Let me turn you around. It is finished. Just needed to be cleaned up. The wire brushing job, oh my God. The wire brushing on this, I have never seen so much dust, and to the point where I've not been able to do it for too long every day because the dust has been so overwhelming. So it's one done, and if I turn it around again, halfway through, the other one. Just got to get the radiator off the wall and wire brush it, and that will be then looking as amazing as this one. I'm absolutely delighted, but it's been much harder than I'd anticipated. And one of the things that really struck me, and I know I've told you before, is the width either side of the fireplace. The left side, as you can see here, it's wider than the right side there by at least a brick's length. So it looks really uneven. And when I first saw it, I was like, I don't like that. It looks really odd. It looks like it's going to topple. But now it's just like, it's a really quirky house and just adds to the quirkiness. What I've also done is pulled back the carpets that were in here when I moved in, and you can see, this is my little Hugo, hello my little Hugo Boogles. You can see the boards underneath, which look fantastic. So once the fireplaces are done, all of the carpet is going to come out. This is all the brickwork that I took away. Well, this is all the rubble from one fireplace. And these bags are like only a third full because they're so heavy. There's so much rubble just from one. And there's the Maybelline. Hello, Mabel. Gorgeous girl. So there's the rubble. That's my dining set, 6-piece dining set for the garden. My lovely settee that I haven't sat on yet. But these are all the bricks that I took out of the fireplace. They go back some way. There's a lot of brickwork in there as well. So it's slowly coming together. The next big job will be the floorboards to take the carpet up and boards, get those sanded and beautifully polished. And then I'm going to panel all the way around the room so that you've got paneling and then paint above the paneling. So it's going to look marvellous. Come on then, boys and girls, out you come. So that's the news on the lounge. Come on. It's coming together slowly, really slowly. One of the reasons why it's coming so slowly, as I mentioned, it's the level of dust that it generates. I'm going back up to my office. And so you have to leave it to settle for a few days before you can go back in again. And the whole house gets covered, even though the doors are closed. And the mask, it gets through the mask. Horrible, horrible job. Anyway, I have now been here for 3 months. And this video really is kind of like work related. When I first moved here, it was going to be, I gave myself a 2-week break. And in that 2 weeks, I wanted to familiarise myself with the house, with the town, with everything. I'm going to try and perch this somewhere so that I can perhaps rest it. Let me see. Is that good? That's good enough. That's good enough. There we go. Yeah, what I wanted to do was just to have a couple of weeks where I was able to just make that transition from France to England, to get used to living in England, to get used to a completely different way of life, a completely different living situation. But it was a 2-week plan. And after 2 weeks, it was like, right, I'm going to be working in 2 weeks. That 2 weeks has now effectively turned into 3 months. So for 3 months, I haven't had a steady and secure income. I've had a couple of sort of tryouts at some sports injury clinics, and we weren't a good fit at all. And that was because they wanted so much commission from every treatment. They wanted such a high commission that I was thinking I would resent every moment I spent in those places where the commission was so high, considering it's you that's doing all the work. But anyway, 3 months on, the news is that I am now resident sports therapist at Bannatynes Health Club in Broadstairs, which is about a 5-minute drive away from home, which is really, really nice. It's a fabulous health club, and they've also got a Just Fitness site about a 5-minute walk away. So I'm now resident there 2 days a week, on a Wednesday and a Friday. Again, it's slow, but I'm in and getting to know the place, getting to know the people. I've been there for 3 weeks now. And last week, the rugby pre-season training started. I've joined a rugby club in Broadstairs as well, Thanet Wanderers. They're kind of like a grassroots rugby club, but it's a very old family established. It's a great club, and I am now part of the team in the rugby club. So pre-season training has started. So at the moment, we're doing 2 evenings a week through pre-season training, and just trying to find some structure in the club, or put some structure into the club. So 2 weeks turned into 3 months of me looking for the right fit, and I think I've found the right fit. And I'm really happy to be working at both places. I'm really happy to be working. It's strange, isn't it? When you've got all that time off, that I know there's lots of people that aren't driven to doing work, but it kind of has become quite apparent to me. I like work. And when you're doing the job and you think, oh God, I've missed this. When I've had some clients up at the health club, it's like, oh, this is what I do. This is what I do. And it's so nice to be able to do it in two really nice places. So I'm really happy about that. But it's been 2 weeks to 3 months, much, much longer than I'd ever thought. One of the things as well that I found really challenging here, and I think it's coming back to a country that is on its knees, and sadly the UK is on its knees. I've never, in 20 years of doing this job, I've never had to work so hard at getting no business. I'm constantly marketing, constantly advertising. I'm having to learn new ways to do it. The team behind me at Bannatynes are going hammer and tongs to get business in for me through all of they're much younger, so they're doing all the socials, as they call it, the socials, which I'm really grateful for. But I've never had to work so hard to get such small response. Everywhere else I've worked, there's always been an immediate pickup. And that hasn't been the case here. And I think that's the state of the economy, the state of the country, that it's trying to tap into the right sort of demographic that have the spendability to be able to have what I offer. So that's been really, really challenging and frustrating because, you know, all of my savings are pretty much gone now. So I really need to just start working hard to start earning money so that I can live in the style to which I'm happily accustomed. So there you are. The situation is that all is well, and apart from the builders next door who are being slightly invasive, and because there's again, living on a terrace, I can't be outside, and we've had a run of nice weather, but I can't be outside because the builders are in the gardens next door, and they're using the backyard or the back courtyard as their kind of work area. So there's always someone there. They're drilling, they're scraping, they're banging, they're knocking. There's all this dust coming over. So that's been really invasive and something that I've not enjoyed too much. And that I've not got any sort of clear guideline as to when they're actually going to finish. And what would you do? It's like when your lifestyle is so impacted by builders, you know, what's the comeback on that when it's like, when is this going to end? You know, I would like to work from home. I'd like to bring clients into my home, but at the moment it's just too noisy outside. And they've been working Monday to Friday, and then they've been doing weekends as well. So there's been no respite from the noise that's been going on this huge renovation next door. That's been really frustrating, and conversations are not deteriorating, but I'm getting a little bit fraught with it, and I'm trying to deal with it in the best way. Anyway, hopefully within the next couple of weeks that'll all be finished. So that's it. I've got to go back to France, and I've got to do that imminently. But I've been procrastinating about that but I do have to go back and sort things out there, and I'm just trying to find the right time for me to do that. But that'll be a road trip. I'm going to turn it around, so 2-day drive there, 2-day drive back, and 3 or 4 days there. We'll just about cover everything, so that's got to be done. So that's going to be really interesting to see how I feel about going back to France. I think one of the things that has sort of delayed me going back is the desire. I think it was really important for me not to rush back to France, because then I was like, oh, I really want to be back in France. And then I dislike living in England. And it's taken a long time for me to go, you have moved back to England. You've been away for a long, long time, but you have moved back to England, and moving forwards is where you've got to move forwards. And moving backwards, because my instinct for the last 2.5 months has been to go back to France and just go, that was a silly thing, that was a bad mistake, I'm going back to France, because I do miss it. But I am becoming more familiar with living back in England. I love living by the sea. That is amazing. And I think I've procrastinated because I just wanted to feel that this is home, so that when I go back to France, I'm thinking I will then perhaps think less of this is home and more of this was home. It's also because I've obviously got Hugo and Mabel to have looked after while I'm away, and I've been really reluctant to have anybody look after my dogs while I'm away because of what happened to Frida last year when I was in England on holiday. And so it's that trust thing of not being able to trust, not wanting to trust that people are not going to look after your dogs, and you're not going to come back and lose one of your loved ones 24 hours after you arrive home due to ignorance. So that's been another reason why I've procrastinated about going back so much, is I live in fear of people coming in and just not doing the right thing by my animals. It's a tough call, but I've got to trust. I've got to sort of bite that one on the head and just go, right, it's going to happen, because I have to go to France. I have an asset there that I need to have taken care of. So that's kind of it. I did a course this week. I did a course for brain injury awareness, and here's my certificate. And I got 96%. It was important for me to do the brain injury and concussion awareness in preparation for the new season at the rugby club, so that I'm just slightly more familiar with what's going on with head injuries and how to assess them. So that's been good. I got a CPD, 3 hours CPD, which is great. 96%. Frustrated I didn't get 100%, but there you go. So that was good. That's another certificate to stick up on my wall. So there you are. That's it. I've been doing loads of shorts. So they've been reaching out quite a lot to people. So that's good. Thank you very much for watching the shorts. And please carry on liking and subscribing. Life is getting busier. It doesn't mean I'm not doing more because I'm getting busier. It's just I'm trying to find there's enough time to put content out that I hope is interesting, about the transition of moving countries. Even though you come back to your home country, it still doesn't feel like it's my home country. I still feel like a stranger in my home country, which is very strange, but I'm getting there. Made some lovely new friends, and the 2 new jobs I've got are great, and so life is good. And I hope you all have a lovely week. And if you're a tennis fan, enjoy Wimbledon. I know I'm really looking forward to it. My brother's coming over from Australia at the end of the week with his family, because my mum is going to be 80. So we're going to have lots of, hopefully, a couple of weeks of really nice, lovely celebrations to celebrate my mum's 80th birthday, which is lovely. So looking forward to seeing my brother and my sister-in-law and my nephew and nieces. It's going to be great. So anyway, have a good week, and look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care, everyone.